What up, guys? It's Timo here again. Today, let's talk about the potential alt season in 2025. So, could it happen? Why it might not happen, and so on. But first, don't forget to check our partner siteshift.ai. I will add the link to our show notes. But yeah, about alt season, I think this question is something that many investors and traders are thinking about. That should I invest in altcoins? Which altcoins might be parabolic. Now we're seeing that Bitcoin has been performing well this year, and it's at 119k, very close to its all-time high numbers. And I think like this year by Q4, Bitcoin might climb a lot from here. So Bitcoin has potential to make new all-time highs in Q3, Q4, and I think like Bitcoin's seasonality will eventually kick in. So the Q4 last quarter has been very positive for Bitcoin historically, and I think it will also be that this year. But yeah, like pro and contra. So arguments why an alt season might be ahead and why not be, or what will happen. Let's move forward. So what could trigger an alt season this year? So let's start with M2, so the global amount of money. So Bitcoin has a tendency to correlate with the global money supply, M2, and here we can see like how it correlates or follows the M2 basically. And while Bitcoin is correlated with the M2, I think altcoins also are correlated with that. And what will actually happen is that like the new money will first follow the Bitcoin, gold, and like technology stocks first, and then to altcoins and more high beta tokens. And I think like the more money you will produce, eventually the liquidity will follow to altcoins. So this is kind of like a no-brainer. And governments will be printing more money, and will they need more liquidity, and the liquidity will eventually follow to altcoins. So this is one of the factors supporting a potential alt season this year. And the next one is Bitcoin's cycle model. So basically, Bitcoin's price history can be divided in accumulation and distribution phases here. Like green is accumulation, red distribution, and then the violet reaccumulation. So I think right now we are in this reaccumulation phase, and we'll probably be there until end of the year at least. So I think like Bitcoin might reach 200k by the end of the year, and obviously by the cycle model, I think many altcoins which are correlated with Bitcoin will also follow Bitcoin up. So like correlation between cryptocurrencies is still strong, and when Bitcoin follows its cycles, then altcoins are following in correlation. And like Bitcoin's dominance is still pretty high, but I think like we might have reached like a peak value here. So many analysts believe that Bitcoin's dominance has now peaked, and it might weaken, and that usually means that it kind of like gives space to altcoins. And if you're going to see Bitcoin's dominance weakening here um, later this year, it would give more liquidity to altcoins. So this another factor supporting a potential alt season. And Ethereum as the second biggest cryptocurrency, it's always good to look at Ethereum. So Ethereum has been performing weakly compared to Bitcoin. Looking at this ETH BTC pair, but actually I think it also might be like at its bottom, and Ethereum might move here. We are seeing signs that Ethereum might be getting stronger, at least momentarily. And when and if Ethereum would move up, that would mean an alt season, because then many smaller tokens would also follow Ethereum. And here we can see the correlation between Ethereum and Bitcoin, and actually just recently it has been weakening. So the correlation has been pretty high since May, but now we are seeing it weakening radically. It's hard to be sure about this, but if Ethereum is about to make moves, that might trigger an alt season. Okay, so these are the arguments why an alt season might happen, and now let's go to arguments why it might be unlikely, or I would say why a full alt season might be unlikely, in sense that if you compare to previous alt seasons in 2017, early 18, and then 21. So why we might not see that kind of alt season this year? So the first one is the market. The altcoin market is pretty saturated, as many investors know. So by news data, you can see that there are more than 40 million tokens launched, and that's a huge amount if you compare it to 21 alone. So those who remember maybe the 16-17 cycle, we had this ICO cycle, and it felt like that we had so many ICOs, like we had such a huge supply of ICOs back then. But I think looking back, the amount of tokens was still pretty low, and even back in 21 is pretty low. But since then, there have been so many token launches, so many meme coin launches that we are above 40 million tokens. And what that actually means is that that the market is getting pretty saturated. So let's think about an investor who wants to enter the crypto market right now. She or he enters the market and looks at what am I going to buy right now, and the supply is incredible, immense, and it's kind of like it's hard to pick the winners, or hard to choose which ones are going to win. And there's a lot of marketing going on, lots of competition going on between tokens, between platforms, also exchange platforms, and there's the supply is kind of like infinite. So anybody can launch their own altcoin. I could do that, you could do that easily, and that means that the supply is infinite. So the market is kind of saturated. Of course, it's possible to pick your winners from there. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's possible. But still, at least the market is saturated. So this is why it's a lot harder to pick the winners and choose the right coins to buy. And this is why a lot of people will actually choose to buy a Bitcoin and maybe Solana or something like that. But it's hard to choose. So saturation. And then so Bitcoin treasury companies, why they matter is that now we have huge amount of these companies. This trend was started by Michael Saylor back in 2020, and he was the pioneer. Here's the first one with MSTR company, but now we're seeing this emergence of other companies with the same playbook, and you could argue that this is now the new alt season. So where's the alt season? You could make the argument that Bitcoin treasury companies are the new alt season. That's one answer, and it's true because we are also living in this attention economy. right? So we are, and when we are seeing all these like MSTR, Metaplanet, then in the Nordics, Europe, we have K33 and a lot of other companies. They're like gathering the attention of investors, and of course there's only a certain amount of attention around. And when you have like Bitcoin, then you have MSTR, then you have ETFs and all these other Bitcoin treasury companies. They're gaining a lot of attention, and when the attention focuses on these companies, you could argue that um, there is less attention towards the altcoins uh, themselves. So you could say that yes, the Bitcoin treasury companies are the new Altseason. And my next argument is that we could actually have a selective Altseason. So as I said, that there might be no full Altseason, but we might have a selective Altseason, and there might be kind of like these surprising tokens which might perform well, like for example Monero XMR, which has been performing well this year. And it's kind of like a funny token or privacy coin, because it has been delisted from basically every major platform, but still it's performing well. So this is just one of them, and I'm actually pretty bullish on privacy coins and Monero in especially, and also we are seeing like Hyperliquid and others performing well this year. So my eventual argument might be that we are going to see selective alt season. So we might see a selection of premium altcoins performing well, but not like full alt season. So in that sense, the market is currently more saturated, as said, and it's kind of like not that eagle anymore, because in previous cycles in 17 and 21, you could almost like expect that if you have like this mid-tier altcoin, you could expect that it will perform well when like Bitcoin performs well, and when like other tokens perform well. So it will like you could expect that it will correlate with them, and you're going to make money with that. But that's not the game anymore. I would say the game has now shifted, and like this cycle might be different. So you need to really select your altcoins well, which ones you're about to buy, and be careful with that. So these are my points. So probably we are going to see the treasury companies performing well, because they're kind of like the new thing, new alt season, and we are going to probably see a selective alt season. So these are my arguments. Okay, but thanks for watching, and see you next time.